The Louie T Network is powered by MusicHead University. MusicHeads, classes in session. Turn me up. Enroll on YouTube now. Link is in the description. Can y'all hear me now? Can y'all hear me now? Still can't hear me? No? You can hear me now? Y'all can hear me now? Yeah. Here we go. All right. Let's try this again. One more time. Who else could it be but me, your man, Louie T? Welcome to the Command Post Live. You know what it is. Post up. Take command. Let's hope the Commanders' joint practice with the New England Patriots doesn't go like that went just now. And all those false starts and all those turnovers I just had. We're going to talk about some things that I just don't want to hear and don't want to see. On my timeline, I don't want to hear about it coming from this joint practice. The don'ts for the Commanders. I've given you the things that we are looking for. If you haven't already checked it out, I did that for Bleacher Report earlier on the Quick Hit. I posted the link to that on my X account. And I'm going to be doing that every day when I post on Bleacher Report. I'm going to post the link on my X account so you guys can have access to it quick, fast, and easy. But I gave you the 7 things that I'll be looking for, that you should be looking for. And I can't tell you what you should be looking for, but these are the things I'll be looking for, right? I'm going to tell you the 7 things that I don't want to see. I don't want to hear about this shit happening at this joint practice, right? So we're going to get to that in a second. But the first time these fellas see the field against a different opponent will be tomorrow. Looking forward to seeing if they're able to do much better in their first action against a different opponent than they did a season ago when we went to East Rutherford to take on the Jets. And it was, I don't want to call it a disaster, but it wasn't good. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I'm excited to see how these players handle this opportunity. The biggest thing is the veterans are the guys that we're really going to be focusing in on. Yeah, they're going to be some young guys that get opportunities, but the joint practices are really for the players that aren't going to really see the field on Friday. And most of those are going to be the veterans, the guys that are starters, et cetera, et cetera. So the bulk of the work is going to be given to the first team guys, and there'll be some second team reps and things of that nature. They try to work as many of those guys in as they can. It's controlled. These joint practices, it's not like you're just going out and scrimmaging, like roll the ball out and just start playing football. It's controlled. It's, hey, we want to get in some 2-minute snaps. All right. We want to get in some red zone work. We want to get short yardage work in. So, ones against twos, twos against threes, ones against ones, twos against twos, etc. Like, it's controlled. So take it with a grain of salt. It's just good to go up against someone else. They probably still aren't going to be tackling in this, joint practice. More likely than not, they're not taking guys to the ground. They're going to protect each other. So again, you still won't really get a good sense of what the running backs are doing. You will get a chance to see what the defensive line, the offensive lines look like, because they will get to get after it in the trenches a little bit. But as far as guys getting taken to the ground, a lot of that won't be taking place. And so there's still like this sort of like, yeah, it is what it is. It's a joint practice. Like, let's not put too much stock into this, right? I got my wish. I don't know if you guys saw this on social media, but I got my wish. The Bengals are going to try something different this year because of all of the slow starts. Every year, Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals start ridiculously slow. And so this year, Zach Taylor, whose job is on the line, if they don't win this year, he's going to be fired. And he knows it. And he's like, I got to do something different. So they're going to play their starters in the first preseason game. And he said they're going to play them quite a bit in the second preseason game. Hey, that's us. Yes. That's what I wanted. And I was just asking for a possession. It sounds like I might get one, possibly 2 or 3 possessions. But I'm definitely getting Burrow and company as long as they're healthy. That's all I could ask for. That's all I could ask for. So that should be a ton of fun. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to this defense getting an opportunity. I want them to dominate this opportunity defensively against a second-year quarterback who's still trying to figure things out with weapons he's unfamiliar with a new staff, with new everything. I need them to go over there and dominate Drake May in this joint practice. Last year, they got carved up by Aaron Rodgers and the Jets' first-team offense. We had no answers for Garrett Wilson. He looked like the best player on the planet last year in the joint practice. Go figure. Now that we know what the secondary looked like last year, we didn't know what we didn't know at that time. But now looking back, of course, Garrett Wilson went apeshit on our defense last year in the joint practice. It was Emmanuel Forbes, Benjamin St. Juste, and Vato Davis out there. Of course, he went apeshit. It's the same thing I've been saying about our corners in training camp this year. Of course, they look great. It's Chris Moore. It's KJ Osborne. It's Jacoby Jones. Not that Jacoby Jones. And God rest his soul. It's Ja'Cory Brooks. It's Michael Gallup. It's Luke McCaffrey. Of course, they look great. Well, I want them to look great again. I'm challenging them to go out and dominate Drake May. Make us feel really good about this secondary. I feel great about them. Like Tony the Tiger, I feel great. Well, make me feel even better after tomorrow's joint practice because we probably won't see those guys on Friday for the most part. I'm dying to see them in week 2 of the preseason against Cincinnati. That should be fun. But you can't skip steps. Joint practice tomorrow. Want to see what the fellas are able to do and how they operate in this space. Then we get to the game on Friday. They'll turn the youngins loose on Friday. Now, that'll be fun for a different reason. Not because we'll see Jaden and, the vets and Debo in a Commander's uniform for the first time. That's not why Friday will be fun. We won't see any of that. Friday will be fun because they're going to turn the youngins loose. I'm talking about JCJ. I'm talking about Trey. Well, I don't think we're going to see Trey Amos on Friday. I take that back. Skip over him. And Jalen Lane and Kane Madrano. Most importantly, Bill. We'll see some of those second-year guys, Jordan McGee, and you'll see Tyler Owens, and you'll see Dom Hampton, and you'll see Ben Sinnott, and you'll see Johnny Newton. You'll see all of the second-year guys that we're excited about. And some of the undrafted guys that we think have some promise. Maybe not for this year, but maybe for next year or the year after that. So they'll turn the youngins loose on Friday. That should be fun. We got plenty of time to talk about that. Let's get to the list tonight. 7 don'ts for the Commanders with the joint practice with the New England Patriots. 7 things I simply do not want to hear about, see, none of that shit. Don't bring this to my damn doorstep. I'm going to be pissed off if I'm hearing about any of this shit come tomorrow. And I'm trying to decide how I want to go about tomorrow's joint practice. As a matter of fact, let me shoot off a text message real quick. I want to find out when this joint practice is, and see if I can kind of construct how I want to go about covering this thing because I got an idea how I want to do it, but the timing of this practice is vital to that taking place, right? So let's see what time the joint practice is. And if I get a response, I can then adjust accordingly. All right. So let's get to the list. Enough of me doing all kinds of stuff. Let's get to my list of 7 things that I just simply do not want to see from this Commanders team. Don't want to hear about it. Don't want beat reporters that are in attendance posting about it. I don't want to see clips on social media about it. Keep this shit away from me. For the first time this team hits the field in 2025, keep this shit away from me. Let's start with number 7. You know, when I'm in a listy mood, right? When I feel like listing things and I'm feeling listy, I start listing things and my list are comprised of 7 items. Y'all know how the shit goes. Number 7, I don't want to hear about no goddamn fights. We too old for this. We grown. We past this shit. Ain't nobody supposed to be out here hitting nobody for real any goddamn way. Behave yourselves. Go out there. Get off a good practice. Take your ass back to the locker room and get ready for the game on Friday. I don't need to see no fracases. I've seen a couple of times where teams have had joint practices and they first play in a joint practice, we got fisticuffs and shit, right? I ain't trying to see none of that. Save that shit for the field on Friday. Somebody piss you off in the joint practice. All right, remember his number on some water boy shit. 55, 55. And remember when you see his ass on the field in the game, then you can do some shit to him then, right? Keep that fighting shit. Leave that for the birds. Won't need none of that. All right. So let's keep it clean. Let's go out there, get some work in, get back in the locker room, and go about our business. That's number 7. Number 6, I just sat up here for 2 straight shows talking about how we had a kicker in Money Matt Gay. I don't want to hear that Matt Gay went 2 of 5 in one period and he went 1 of 3 in another period. Like, don't piss me off, Matt. I've been over here talking some real good shit on your behalf. Don't do this, all right? Don't piss me off. You know why? Don't piss me off because you don't want to piss me off. I could be your best friend or I could be your worst enemy. Generally, I befriend kickers because most people don't. I'm the one that's always caping for the kicker. When everybody else has got pitchforks and torches out, ready to get the kicker the hell out of town, I'm like, hey, y'all have patience? You get off on the wrong foot with me, and I'm going to just turn the dogs loose on your ass. The first side of trouble, like I did with Kate York. Get his ass out of here. I will flip the switch on your ass quick. Don't piss me off, but I don't think I'm going to have that issue with Matt Gay. I don't. I don't want to hear that shit tomorrow. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Number 5, turnovers. Hold on to the damn ball. Especially you, Sam Hartman. Our offensive coordinator stepped up to the podium yesterday and said, Sam's been up and down. He's got to learn how to take better care of the football. Take care of the damn football, Sam. You're probably going to get second-team reps tomorrow. You're probably going to get second-team reps tomorrow because Marcus Mariota probably not playing tomorrow, probably not practicing. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. I don't care if Marcus practices or he doesn't. We already know what he's about. Don't need to see him in a joint practice setting. Honestly speaking, let Sam have it. You better step up, Sam. I'd hate for Josh Johnson to take your damn job and for you the second consecutive year to be cut and stashed away on the practice squad. I'd hate to see it happen, but I'll do it to you. So this could be the most raggedy, rugged, nasty practice that we've ever seen. Just don't turn the ball over. They come back and say, we look out of sync. You know, they couldn't complete a pass. The offensive line was trashed. Defense was this, that. Just don't turn the ball over. We can correct all the other shit. Turnovers lose you football games. When we were at our worst last season, we turned the damn ball over. I like our squad when we protect the rock. Don't start no shit, won't be no shit. Don't start this season off with no bullshit now. Protect the football. You know, go out. The preseason game could be boring as hell. It can end up being 13-10. You know these preseason games be trash. Just don't turn the shit over. That's all. I don't ask for much. Just don't turn the ball over. I'm talking to you, Sam Hartman. Don't turn the ball over. Next one up, number 4. I better not hear Drake May is dotting us up. I better not hear that shit. I'm going to be so pissed off after this secondary has been shitting on our receivers all damn camp. I better not hear Drake May is dotting us up. Oh, this defensive line has looked so good and they're getting so much pressure on the court. I better not hear Drake May is dotting us up. Not old Drakey. I better not hear Drake May dotting us up. You want to talk about somebody pissed off? Let Drake May go off on us. Let him go nuclear on us. I'm going to be hot. Number 3, offensive line issues. I don't really foresee the Patriots slowing us down on offense unless, and I've got a couple of things, unless this offensive line can't protect Jada. You spent all these resources on the offensive line in the offseason. Same can be said for the defensive line. All right, let's spin the block and see what you got. I don't think we're going to see Brandon Coleman. That pisses me off because we want continuity with whoever we're going to put on the field. We want continuity. You're probably not going to get it. Probably going to have to play musical chairs. I never want to see. I never want to live in a world where Chris Paul is starting on my offensive line. That may actually take place in this joint practice. I never want to live in a world that looks like that. Maybe it's, I don't know if they, like, that's who they put in when Brandon Coleman couldn't finish practice. The next day when he didn't practice, that's who was in there. They moved some pieces around. You could put Josh Connolly Jr. at right tackle and put Andrew Wiley at guard. There's some things you can do, but all of that shit is nasty. Whatever it looks like, I don't care. I just know y'all better protect 5. He better have time to go out there and survey the field and matriculate the ball down the field and execute in whatever setting he's given. I don't want to hear about no O-line issues in this game. Number 2, this is the one that the team itself can't afford to have. For some of y'all want this to take place because it may facilitate something that we all want to take place, which is Terry getting a deal. The team can't afford for the beat reporters to be there and report back to us that the wide receivers struggled mightily in this game. There was no separate. Keep in mind, we're not getting their best corner. Gonzo's out of this practice. He's not going to participate. He injured himself a week ago. They just had some corner go down with the torn ACL today or yesterday, I think it was. Either way, I think it was today. They just might have been doing a walkthrough or something. You know, young player I never heard of tore his ACL. So they got issues in their secondary. They shouldn't be blanketing our receivers. They shouldn't be locking us up. This shouldn't be, you know, a situation where we can't separate and Jaden's having to throw into tight windows and tight spaces. If this receiver group struggles, and again, the offensive line could be a part of that. So you just never know what the circumstances are. But if the wide receiver group struggles, the chant for Terry gets even louder. And then You know, the national media is already all over this thing. It gets even louder though. It starts to get to a level where it's unavoidable, and it may force you to do something. Like if the receiver group is fine and they play solid, it gives the organization a false sense of hope. They already know they got to get this Terry shit done. Let's be honest with ourselves. And I know they know that you know that I know that we know that they're not satisfied with what they've gotten from the receivers. Just listening to the coaches talk, we don't have to draw inferences. They're literally telling us without telling us that they're not satisfied. They're not pointing out any receivers. They're not talking about any guys stepping up. They just keep saying the same shit over and over again. You know, we're looking for guys to step up and take advantage of this opportunity. They're not saying, well, this guy has or that guy has, and this guy's really taking advantage of the opportunity. They're not saying that. They just keep saying, we're looking for guys to take advantage of the opportunity. I'll say this, and obviously Terry was practicing the entire time last year. It made it a lot easier to make a statement like this. But I feel like Cliff, at this point last year, was more confident in his receiver group than the one he has this year. And we didn't know what the hell the receivers were going to look like last year. I think Cliff has more, because there's no, remember, there was no Noah Brown this time last year. We didn't know he was going to end up on our roster. And even with that said, you had Terry, you had OZ, you had Diami, and Luke was a rookie. And they were, I think he felt better about that group than he does this group, the Terry Noah-less wide receiver group. They're not creating separation. They're not winning consistently. They're dropping open passes. They're being blanketed. Everything's tough. Cliff didn't sound, you know, really, he didn't sound enthusiastic about the depth of this room, even though he tried to sell us on, he believes in the depth of this room. Hey, if Terry and Noah go down, you know, we got to know how to operate. No, you don't even want to think about that scenario. And now, because you're seeing what it looks like, you're like, we pray that we don't endure this scenario. We're screwed. You better be able to run the ball. Jaden's going to have to turn into Superman, and Debo better be 2022 Debo. Nobody wants to see, you know, these things have to transpire. Bottom line is, if the receiver group struggles against the New England Patriots defense and secondary without their best corner that's young and you know, kind of wet behind the ears, breath smells like Similac, SpaghettiOs. It's going to be a long, long weekend. I can tell you that for sure. A long weekend. And it'll be a win for the McLaurin camp. That's for damn sure. The team can't afford for the receiver group to struggle in these joint practices. If they struggle in the preseason game, so what? They struggle in these joint practices with 5 under center. Now we got an issue. Lastly, you already know. You already know what this one is. I don't even have to tell you, but I'm going to tell you anyway. Just come out of this thing clean, man. This could be the worst joint practice in NFL history. I mean, we could get slaughtered here where we don't do a single thing right. 90 turnovers. Every time we touch it, we fumble, or it gets tipped in the air and picked off. We could miss every field goal. It could be the worst practice that any member of the media covering his team has ever seen in their life. But if we come out of this completely healthy, it is a win. Period. The other 6 things I said are rendered irrelevant as long as number 1 goes off without a hitch. I don't want any fights, but I'll take 2 fights to make sure we have no injuries. I'll take Matt Gay going 0 for 9 if it means we come out of this thing squeaky clean. Sam Hartman, turn it over till your heart's content. Hell, B-Rob, go game 2 against the Eagles on us. Turn the clock back. I don't give a shit. Just stay healthy, right? Keep going. Hey, look, Drake May could dot us up like a connect the dots picture you used to do in the first grade. Don't give a shit. Just don't get injured. That's it. Bottom line is stay healthy. Come out of this thing healthy, and I'll be happy. We'll figure the rest of this shit out later. All I ever want to do is get to the starting line with all of my horses, or at least as many as I can possibly get there with. That is it. I'm not asking for much. I just want to get to the starting blocks with all of my horses. That is it. Give me a fighting shot. Give me a chance. We do that. I like our chances. I like the way we stack up with the opponents that we'll see on the schedule. Should be a lot of fun. Can't wait to see how this goes. All Sorry, y'all. All right. At the end of the day, these are the things that I don't want to see this team do or have happen or be a part of in this joint practice. Go to Foxborough, go to New England, take care of business. And I have no doubts. Like, these aren't things that I worry about with this group, with DQ leading the charge. I don't worry about, like, Joe Witt Jr. was like, let's go there, take care of business. Let's not have any fights. He's like, I don't really think DQ is going to allow that to take place. Like, I trust that this is going to be a clean joint practice, clean, wholesome, good fun. We'll go there. First of all, the Patriots aren't good. Okay. They're young and they're scrappy. And I believe in Mike Bravel as a coach. So I think he's going to turn that program around faster than most. But it ain't happening this year. They went out and spent a lot of money on free agents. And they're not going to be as terrible as people think. But they don't want this smoke, right? So go in there, dominate these boys best you can. Again, we don't have all our stuff. I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't think Noah Brown's practicing. We know Terry ain't practicing. I don't think that Brandon Coleman's practicing. Like, it ain't like we going in there completely healthy, fully loaded clip, ready to unload on these boys. But we got enough stuff that we should be able to go in there, handle business, look smooth doing it, and send the youngins out there on Friday to finish the job, right? Start it with the vets and the starters and all the guys that are getting opportunities tomorrow, and then finish the job on Friday, right? So that's my list. I'm sticking to it. So with that said, I didn't want much today. I just wanted to bring that list to you and tell you I already told you what I'm looking for, things that I'll be watching for on Bleacher Report. You haven't checked that out, go ahead and do so. Now I wanted to tell you the things that I don't want to see. And that's what we just did. I do want to go ahead while I'm here and promote the live event, Commanders Kings Live, August 24th from Crystal City Sports Pub in Arlington, Virginia. I can happily report that we have less than 50 tickets remaining. Over 100 tickets have been bought already. So the amount of tickets left is steadily dwindling. If you want to be in the building, you still have an opportunity, but time is running out. Come kick it with the Kings as we break down the roster, which will be the hottest topic at that time. The final preseason game would have been the night before. You know, usually after the final preseason game, the team has 48 to 72 hours to trim that roster down from 90 to 53. So the day after, that's going to be the hottest topic. We're going to jump into the roster, talk about what we think our 53-man roster is going to look like. We're also going to break down the season, talk about each individual game. Things going to be really interesting. Like the Raiders, they're going to play their starters. I'm going to be watching. Pete Carroll's going to go in there and change that whole dynamic. They got a quarterback now in Geno Smith, very dangerous. Genty is legit. They got a tight end that I know is going to give us problems in Brock Bowers. They got some stuff in Vegas. Like these games that we just look at and assume, oh yeah, we should be like, this shit is, it's going to be scary this year, man. I'm looking forward to seeing this team rise to the occasion because there are no pushovers here, right? I don't know if there are any Carolinas on the schedule this year. Teams where you look at Tennessee's where you go, yo, yeah, no, we should kick their ass. I don't know if there's any of those on the schedule this year, to be honest with you. I really don't. So I'm interested to see what all these teams around the league look like, what we look like. We're going to talk about that schedule because there are going to be some scary games on that thing that you're not really thinking about right now. Like the Giants week 1, I'm hearing all this 2-score, ass whoopings and this, that, and the third. And I'm like, first of all, that's family business. Second of all, we struggle with the Giants no matter who is the quarterback for them, no matter who the quarterback is for us. We struggle with the Giants for some inexplicable reason. We don't like blowing the Giants out. Like everybody else in the division does. We make it difficult. Either we lose or we win extremely close for whatever reason. All I'm telling you is going through the schedule is going to be interesting because we're not just going to say, oh, I think we're going to win this game. We're going to talk about these games. Give you a final prediction for the season in terms of the record. We're going to have a toast to the season and so much more. It's going to be a ton of fun. Want you guys in the building. Once again, August 24th, Crystal City Sports Pub in Arlington, Virginia. Tickets are $45 to get you in the building. Bart Scott. Can't wait. Less than 50 tickets remain. Don't wait. Don't procrastinate. Be in the building and be great. So, if you would, so kindly as to put the link to that in the chat for me, please. Mods out there, I greatly appreciate your help. So, with that said, I am going to slide out of here, allow you to enjoy the rest of your evening. I didn't want to keep you long because tomorrow will be a long day. The Kings will be live tomorrow night. Obviously, we've got a joint practice tomorrow, so a lot will be taking place with that. So I will be a busy man tomorrow, as most of you will, keeping tabs on what this team is doing at the joint practice. So looking forward to spending quite a bit of time with you guys tomorrow. Thursday, we'll be kind of breaking down all of the happenings of the joint practice and then turning our attention to the preview of the preseason game the following day on Friday. So lots to get to over the next 3 days or so with the joint practice, the recap of the joint practice, and then the preview. You turn right around and preview the preseason game and then the game itself on Friday. So much to get to over the next 3 days. So enjoy the rest of this week. Enjoy the rest of this evening. I will see you guys tomorrow. Until then, I'm your man, Louie T, signing off. You guys have a great night. God bless. Good night.